As always, pause the video to see if you can do it first, and let's start. So we have a circle that has a center at -1, 1, and we have a line T that's tangent to the circle at this point 5, -4. And now we're looking for another point that also lies on line T. So how do we do this? The first thing that we want to focus on is getting line T. And in order to do that, I actually need to figure out a different line, which is why I drew the circle at the bottom, and I drew a line connecting the 2 points that we have, and this formula right here, which is going to come in useful, and you should put in your notes. So we're going to look at the line that I drew, right? I want to find out what the slope is of that, and I'll explain why in a second. So I'm going to do y2 minus y1. So I'm going to do -4 minus 1 over 5 minus -1, or 5 plus 1, which is going to give me -5/6. And the reason I did that is because in order to find the slope of a tangent line, I need to find the opposite reciprocal of the slope of my original line. So since this is my original line slope, right, I'm going to flip the fraction and then flip the sign in order to get the slope of my tangent line. So now I know that the tangent line slope is 6/5. And now using that, I'm also going to use the formula that I wrote at the bottom and the point 5, -4 to make a line for t. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to do y minus y1 is going to be -4, right? So y plus 4 equals my slope, which is 6/5, times x minus x1, which is going to be 5, right? So I'm going to slowly start simplifying this. So I'm going to have y plus 4 equals 6/5 x minus 6 times 5 is 30, divided by 5 is 6, right? And then I'm going to subtract the 4 over. And just for the sake of space, I'm going to start erasing what I have on top so I can write on top of it. And I'm going to end up with y equals 6/5 x minus 10. So now the rest of the question is asking us what point also lies on line T. So I'm going to look at my answer choices. And just for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys the answer. When we plug in 0, right, for x, we're checking to see if we get 6/5 back on y. When we do that, we don't. For b, when we plug in 4, we do not get 7. And then finally, when we get to c, when we do plug in 10, we do get out 2. So that's going to be our answer.